and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Marcel. Here. Crocker.
Here.
Mortimer.
Here.
Renier.
Here.
Grossman.
Here.
Bass.
Here. Agenda approval.
Motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Citizen participation. Rena, is she here? Yes, here.
Renee.
I'm sorry.
Amy and I are going to talk on that.
We'll give it to her.
Are you ready for that?
Yep.
So Renee said that she sent the information kind of in of what it was going to be, what we're requesting to do. We want to get the date reserved and go ahead before we go ahead and put all the work into it, and then it, not be necessary. So other places like such as Herman, Sullivan, and other surrounding places have things around Halloween time, kind of call it witches on, in Herman. We were talking, and it'd be kind of neat to have that around here, basically like a block party, a sip and save, music, and it'd be called Witches Night on 66, Route 66. And what we're requesting is in the day, 3 o'clock to 10 o'clock is what we said, on October 3rd of this year, 2026. Renee already called and verified there was nothing going on those dates. And we're requesting this street, so Smith Street, from the right line down to the Kansas, where it touches 44, or 66 on the 4-way street.
Say that again. Where?
Smith Street
We
down.
need to correct our streets.
Yeah, this is Smith Street?
Yeah. Smith is right
It's
here.
right, it's right to the Aquinas, at the 4-way stop.
Okay. So Smith from school to 66.
No, the Aquinas is this way.
Yeah.
It's this way, you're right, you don't know where you're at, I know where I'm at. I travel these streets daily, they go, it's that way, so.
School Street to Route 66.
Yeah.
That, like you went down past Red Line.
Between the high store and Wallace House.
Yeah, that's what happens, yeah, so,
Oh.
yeah, so it'll be that street right there.
Just the one block.
No.
It's 2 blocks.
Yeah, so 2 blocks, it'll be from like rec line,
Okay.
like
So
Cuba
that's
Fest.
from School Street
Yeah,
to, okay.
yeah.
Well, we made that earlier. I got it.
Okay, so, and basically what there'll be is vendors, music, food trucks, to start Halloween off. So having a lot of vendors will probably have decor of Halloween, possibly they might throw some Christmas or Thanksgiving stuff in there. And that's basically it. You can dress up kind of just like all the other ones do. A lot of them dress up as, more for, it can be kids and adults, so, I think we're gonna open it up for all I know. I think for women is just adults, this is gonna be.
I'll make a motion to let them do it.
Thanks.
Do we have a second? Discussion? Will, Doug, will that be a problem at all? Do you see foreseen problems?
I have to look at my calendar for any day. I don't think anybody else has mentioned having anything closed. What day is the 3rd on?
A Saturday. Yeah,
Saturday.
and Renee called and she called both places and she said that you guys had nothing that day, neither did the city.
Yeah, so I don't think it'd be.
Now, will this street be closed as well?
Just this street
Just
right
the
here,
just the intersection.
just the intersection, so they can go around, Either way they can go around, they can go around this way or that way. Because we're not closing the main intersection of
Anything that we
66.
do
Per se.
in, the end of October for the.
Cuba Fest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Fest.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
You got a first and a second?
What
Any more
about,
discussion?
will you guys require like a liability insurance?
When Renee checked into that, we could, Cuba Fest did it.
What did you ask?
I asked if you guys were going to require like a liability insurance. Most events, we require liability insurance. I'm just asking if you guys are requiring it or not.
Does Cuba Fest have it?
Yes.
The insurance? Yeah. We don't know, but, I don't know.
We can look into that. Emily?
that you need for the event insurance?
Generally speaking, they do $1 million liability policy.
For one day, okay. And then because it is nothing that they're hooking up to electric, so vendors don't have to pay the city directly, correct?
As long as they have a bill, they do have to have a business license.
Sure. Yeah, we'll make sure we'll make sure we get copies of that, provide it prior, that way Laney doesn't have to do anything, we'll double check everything and send it.
It's required that the vendors also have the insurance statement.
So craft vendors have to have.
No, craft vendors do not have.
Do you know if this happens
Just food
to,
trucks have to.
it doesn't, conflict with like Herman or Owensville's, because I don't wanna use business to.
No, I mean, here's the thing, none of our people are, I'm not worried about that, because if we start worrying about all the neighboring things, we're never gonna have anything for our town. You know, cause who's gonna wanna do that and drive, you know, an hour away, I mean, we really need to start having events in our town.
But I think Herman does it on a Thursday.
I think so too.
Because I know Owensville does a witches night out.
Yeah. And a lot of the people we talk to don't wanna drink wine and Sullivan and drive. You know, it's gonna be a lot easier to, you know.
Did Renee give the, so I did not speak to her, did she give the location, and they did double check that Red Line is not booked? Because we don't want to close the street if Red Line is booked. Do you know if she?
She said she did. Yeah, she
I-
said.
I can talk to her,
And
so I
if
don't-
that is the case, we can always start it from here down, and that way, you know,
So it could work.
Yeah, we can work. Yeah, so we'll be accountable to that, I mean, these things are always subject to change, so if it does come up, just let us know, and we'll start it a little further down. That way we get the dating, so like we said, we don't wanna get all this done and then turn around and not have a date, not do it, it's a waste of our time, and a waste of money that we're gonna be putting out too, so.
I think the motion should be amended if they have insurance.
Business license and insurance.
Yeah.
Business license for all vendors and food trucks and
So the vendors don't need business licenses, only the food trucks
Business
do.
license, no insurance, yes.
Yes, vendors don't need that, because, yeah, but the food trucks need business
Vendors don't
licenses.
need business license.
Right, so we'll make sure the
Just
food,
the insurance.
yeah, we'll make sure the food trucks have the business license, food truck, and their insurance. And then vendors, obviously, their craft, usually craft things, they don't have any of that, so.
we have a first and a second. All those in favor?
No. No, you put the name in there. Yes.
I put amend to have insurance.
Okay. Yes.
Anybody opposed?
Is that?
Anybody opposed? All right.
We'll make sure we get all that to you, Laney, all the copies of everything will beforehand, that way it's all substantiated. If you guys have any questions, you can reach out to Renee or me. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Regular, approval of the regular meeting minutes of June 2nd, 2026.
How about more citizens?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
My apologies.
I just want to share a little story with y'all, and it's both heartbreaking and heartwarming. Started out at Tangle Creek Park, where I used to walk in the morning, and I noticed a memorial stone underneath the tree at the south end of the park, just east of the pavilion. And written on it was, "In memory of Viola Hoyer." Now, long ago, I knew Alice Hoyer and her daughter Shirley Hoyer, but I had never heard of Viola. Asked around town, nobody knew her. City doesn't keep records of such memorials, so they couldn't help. But I couldn't help but wonder, who was she? What was her connection to Tangle Creek? Was she related to the Hoyers I had known? And who put the stone there? One morning, the stone was out of the ground and turned on its face. I was concerned it might be stolen or vandalized, so I took it home. The mayor came down to my house and got it and took it home with him for safekeeping. And he asked Jerry Montgomery if he would put it back where I found it. Jerry, of course, said he'd be happy to. But my questions kept nagging, and now I had a few more questions. Had the stone originally been placed into that tree? Or perhaps it had been placed elsewhere and then moved? Did the family want it back under the tree? Was there even a family? So I asked the mayor to give me some time to see what I could find out. It took 6 weeks. A few trips to Kinder Cemetery, a funeral home, the county collector, lots of online research, and tons of phone calls to numerous Hoyer relatives, mostly distant. Some of my questions will never be answered. No one has any memory of the stone. But I did learn that Viola Hoyer is actually Viola Alice Hoyer. the woman I knew many years ago. In life, she was called only Alice. No one knows why Viola was put on the stone in her memory. She died in 2001, survived by her 2 children, Gordon Sonny Hoyer and Shirley Hoyer. Shirley never married and had no children. Sonny died in 1991, his wife in 2017. They were survived by their 2 daughters, Cynthia and Tamara. Cynthia died just 2 years after her mother in 2019. Tamara died in a car accident just last month, very near the time I was taking the stone from Tangle Creek to save it from possible theft or vandalism. As fate would have it, about 6 weeks later, on the day I drove to St. Louis to try to find Tiffany, Alice's great-granddaughter and Cynthia's daughter, the family was having a celebration of life for Tamara. In just 25 years, 3 generations of Hoyers are gone. But a great-granddaughter survives and now has the stone. Before, she didn't know it existed, but now she is so happy to have it. It is a fine remembrance of her great-grandmother. So this is in memory of Viola Alice Hoyer. Thank you.
Good effort.
Do you remember anything about that, Kevin?
Anybody else? Okay, regular meeting minutes, June 2nd, 2026.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Executive session meeting minutes of June 2nd, 2026.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
One opposed. Special meeting minutes of June 8th, 2026.
Motion.
One second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I wasn't here. All right. Bills to be paid.
Make a motion to pay them consent.
One second.
You have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Budget revisions as of 6/30/26. Approval. Everybody had a chance to review those?
Not. Jennifer, if we make these revisions, the way we constructed the 2027 budget, will there be as many revisions in it as were in 2026? Or is this gonna be, we're trying to take care of this problem?
This is the 2026 revision, or 2026 budget, the last revision, of the year. The 2027 budget is brand new, and this has nothing to
I'm
do.
just saying, we have this many revisions, you think?
So I will revise the budget every quarter to make sure that we're staying on point. Hopefully, they're not going to be as large, it's my recommendation that we stay on a quarterly revision process to make sure that your, departments are staying on point. Otherwise, you can get to the last revision where we're at right now, and they can be very off point, and you won't know if you're where you need to be.
Like, statement on that, the number of revisions can also be dependent on income that we have coming in and whether that changes to any great degree.
Right, the amount, yeah, that we have coming in. But I would like to keep on the quarterly process, otherwise, you won't know where you're at.
Would that be a quarterly revision or a quarterly review?
Quarterly revision, I'll make a recommendation. I'm not going to revision to not have a revision recommendation at any point, to where we need to make some sort of recommendation. In my years of doing this position, So, they're always reviewed and then make a recommendation to you for what needs to be done. We went through the state audit and the recommendation was to basically do a quarterly revision process, anything over, your percentage marks, if your benchmarks, if you're not at that point to make a revision. So that's pretty much the benchmark procedure that I've been following based on what they recommended, so, and that's the procedure that I will keep doing until otherwise changed.
I have a question. Why are we transferring capital improvement fund to the general fund and transportation fund to the general fund? Backside of the second sheet, what I'm looking at.
No, it's, the, general fund will receive $40,084, and $32,884 will come from waterworks, $8,000 will come from capital improvement. The streets fund will receive $40,050. It's actually being decreased from the transportation tax fund. So we're decreasing that amount. We did not need $4,050 that we had previously said that we would need, so we're recommending to decrease that. And then the $8,000 is explained on the back, the very last sheet. It's for the siren, batteries, and chargers. And I can read through. I'd like to read through the sheet for you on the notes, if that's okay. This is our fourth revision of the 2026 fiscal year. Unfortunately, our last revision is one of good news. While I was anticipating that our trend of positivity would continue throughout the remainder of the fiscal year, my hopes were shattered when the final numbers came in, and I have to ask that we revise the budget. $325,595 expenditures over revenues. Our revenues were revised to $842,824, and our expenses were now revised to $1,168,419. Our estimated ending net income is now $2,474. While I did not expect to end our fiscal year this way when we began on 7/1/25, we are now expected to end barely not borrowing from our reserves. Many factors lead to the outcome: increased spending, increased capital projects, and low revenues in some departments. Wage payouts for retiring employees, higher winter utility bills, gas and electric, etc. For the fourth quarter, we normally only see a few accounts to revise, but this revision showed a lot of accounts that needed to be revised. We see many of the same accounts again being revised every quarter or every other quarter. From my perspective, this is not always a good outlook that we like to see. I encourage you to look at the report and see which expenditures are causing your budget to revise each quarter. Finally, I expect to revise some accounts within each fund that are over a certain point each quarter. At this point, for the fourth quarter, it's around 90 to 100% of the allocated amount for each account number. If an account number is not below that target number, we expect that they will be over by June 30th, 2026. Our city is in a tough spot right now, and it's going to take all council members, department heads, and employees working together as a team to see a difference in our cash flow and budget. With everyone working together to get the job done, I feel that we can achieve greatness for the city of Cuba. A balanced budget is something that takes a team to accomplish, and I feel that we have a great team to achieve this task. We must look at the aspects of the city funds, including the interfund transfers to cover the cost of spending. Amendments to the budget could only be made if there's something that cannot wait until the next fiscal year. Again, I'll point out that utilizing reserve funding is not the ideal practice, and we continue to see this happening in many ways today. I will continue to stress that this has to stop until we resolve the issue together. In the coming months, as the end of the fiscal year nears in, we need to focus on less spending and more saving for the future of the city of Cuba. In closing, please remember a budget is nothing more than a management tool to act as a guide. And while I normally quote Apollo 13, however, I feel this is a quote more fitting. You're only one day closer to your goal. Always remember that we might not be at our goal today, but tomorrow we are always going to get closer. Our budget might not look great, but today and tomorrow we are going to get to do our best to look better and get to our goal. So, not great news. Ending, but we are asking for those revisions to take place to get us through to June 30th. Was hoping for some better news.
I make a motion after, if all these are necessary, so looking what you have written here, they have to be done. We don't really have a choice.
No.
I make a motion that we accept, we approve the revisions as presented.
We have a motion.
Y'all second.
Open for discussion? Any discussion? Roll call.
Hertzell,
Yes.
Crucker,
Yes.
Warner,
Yes.
Renieri,
Yes.
Roseman,
Yes.
Duff.
No. I don't think that we can buy batteries and chargers for EOC with capital improvement money. That's not a permanent fixture. Those wear out.
You want to answer it? Talk to them about
To my knowledge, yes, it's the maintenance of a thing that's in EOC, so we're maintaining of a structure that's already on the depreciation schedules.
On top of that, that wasn't at our last meeting also, when we accepted the bids, and that was the cheaper the bid, because the manufacturer wanted something like $10,000+ or $15,000. That we got batteries and chargers from the manufacturer.
Where do you think it should have come from, Jim?
What's that?
Where do you think the funds should come from?
Should come from something besides capital improvement money. It wasn't long ago, the floors needed replaced in the locker or the shower rooms at the pool. And you told me we couldn't use it for that because it wasn't a permanent fixture to the pool. Those were, you told me that yourself. So that's just finding money somewhere else. And I just looked it up and it says it has to be permanent structure, infrastructure, batteries and chargers are not permanent. And we gotta have them, we gotta have them, but I voted no on it because I don't believe that we should be using that money for that.
Is there another
Just
alternative?
give you my reason why I vote no. I always try to do that, so.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yep.
Discussion and approval of final fiscal year 27 budget.
I would like to say something at our meeting the other night when Ray made a motion to accept. He said all the yellow things, and I thought that's what we were voting for, was just the yellow things, not the whole budget. Which I think he meant the whole budget, but that's not what he said in the motion.
The whole budget, and then I said, be sure the yellow things are included.
But at the motion, you didn't say that.
This was it this way. I thought I said that.
You said it at the beginning, but when motion.
I still said that, we accept it.
That's passed, right? So
That's
it's-
passed.
it's done.
Yep.
It's already passed, so that's what I said.
Because I have no problem with other things on the budget. I don't think we should have a hiring freeze on the budget.
Well, let's get to a first and a second, and then we'll be open for discussion.
No,
So discussion, approval of the final fiscal year 27 budget.
I need to go through it,
She'll have to approve it.
huh? I
Well,
need,
you have to approve it. No, I'm supposed to address it.
Well, let her do her presentation. and we'll-
Okay.
yeah, we went through this.
so, on page 2 is, starts the budget message. Submitted to you this year is the budget for the fiscal year 2026-2027, final budget and program of the services of the city of Cuba. This proposal is written plan for our fiscal year 2027, which represents a policy document, operations guide, communication manual, and above all, financial plan for the city of Cuba, Missouri. The finished project of the budget represents many hours of hard work, careful planning, and consideration to get us to arrive at the many benefits to the citizens and employees of the city of Cuba. Let's skip down, and basically the single most important task of the Board of Aldermen can be to accomplish while serving its citizens is the determination of the annual budget due to the complicity in the annual planning for the future projects which carry the services offered and how the board allocates the governmental resources. Building a better tomorrow that there is for everyone is something that all citizens should
Where'd
be
you
proud.
get- where'd
I'm
you
on
get
page
to?
3 now.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of skimming it. Should be proud to know that our council and employees are striving to succeed each fiscal year. To achieve this goal, we must begin by controlling our expenditures to provide the quality of services while yet building on a better tomorrow for the city of Cuba. I believe this to be a good motto for the city of Cuba to follow and strive each year. The budget is structurally balanced in total since the city does not plan to expand beyond its total available resources. Cuba's budget in conformity with Missouri State Statute Section 61.010, which requires total proposed expenditures not exceed estimated revenues. This fiscal year, the budget will end with a net income of $363,650. We'll have $530,396 in capital projects from the enterprise funds, which, when we look at the net income versus our fiscal resources, we're given a good idea that we are going to use around $281,746 from reserves due to not having enough net income to cover the cost of the capital income. You'll skip over to page,
Can you finish those
7.
last 2 lines?
Yeah, want me to repeat those?
Yeah.
So, the fiscal year budget will end with a net income of $363. We'll have $530,396 in capital projects from the enterprise funds, which when we look at the net income versus fiscal resources, we are given a good idea that we are going to use around $281,746 from reserves due to not having enough net income to cover the cost of capital projects.
Keep going.
Keep in mind, we must have the cash available to cover the cost of the projects. At this time, I would like to caution the city on the cost of capital projects and the timing of them. And then if you'll skip to page 7, I'm going to cover economic outlook because I feel like this is an important section for you to understand. Our economic outlook is grim. If we do not change the way that we do business, our departments must tighten their belts, adjust their spending habits, and get used to doing more with less. By working together to achieve this goal for the betterment of the city of Cuba, we will see a difference that builds a better future for all employees, council members, and citizens. We must continue to concentrate on core services and funding essential services to provide the means that we are currently in at the time of this fiscal budget. Overspending within our budget amounts can no longer occur, and department heads must manage their departments regularly and must monitor their departmental budgets on a regular basis. This can no longer fall on one person's shoulders as we wait of achieving the goal is a term of the team and everyone working together, and not just one person. Living and working in a tight economic environment is not only tough for individuals, but also extremely tough for a municipality to survive and provide essential services to its citizens. With that in mind, budget cuts and shortfalls have become common occurrence, with more forecasts at both the state and national levels. In conclusion, the budget plan I have laid out before you is structured in a way that gives the city time to start building back its reserve balances in departments that need to have reserves. It also sets forth a plan to give the citizens of Cuba good quality of services while controlling our expenditures. It provides a balanced budget for every department in the city of Cuba. I appreciate the work of all department heads, mayors, and the Board of Aldermen with their efforts in preparation of the completion of this budget. The process of working on a budget is not something that happens overnight. This process begins January of each year, all to be completed by June 30th. This is a very challenging effort, and we have a great team working to achieve this goal. As you can see from the budget before you, many hours and thought and care were put into the document. And you'll see on page 6 begins the budget summary. Nothing's really changed on that. It was all the same as you saw at the special meeting. Page 12 is your overview of the budget. Nothing, just some general information. On page 16, I'd like to point out that is our organizational chart for the city of Cuba. And on the back side, there's the map of the city of Cuba. Page 18 begins our fiscal policies, and I'd like just to point out that it does state in there that we do succeed in having an audit, even though we are behind. I also typed in something new that's called our fund balance policy that was not in there before, but I was able to find that we do have one, and it is typed in. I did also like to point out we do have a capital assets policy that is in there, and that is something that we must follow.
Can we go over both of those?
You want me to read
Yes.
them all? So, fund balance policy. The fund balance policy was established in November of 2019 to ensure financial security through maintenance of a healthy reserve fund that guides the creation, maintenance, and use of resources for financial stabilization purposes. With the policy, the city also sought to maintain the highest possible credit ratings, which are dependent in part on the city's maintenance of a healthy fund balance. Fund balance policy statement. The fund balance of the city's general fund has been accumulated to meet this purpose, to provide stability and flexibility to respond to unexpected adversity and/or opportunities. The target is to maintain an unrestricted fund balance of not less than 17% of annual operating expenditure for the fiscal year. The city's basic goal is to maintain annual expenditure increase at a growth rate and to limit expenditure anticipated to revenue to maintain a balanced budget. The decision to retain an unrestricted fund balance of not less than 17% of operating expenses stems from the following. This amount provides adequate funding to cover approximately 2 months of operating expenses. This amount provides the liquidity necessary to accommodate the city's uneven cash flow, provides liquidity to respond to contingent liabilities, and the GFOA recommends the minimum be no less than 2 months of regular operating revenue or expenditures.
Do we meet that requirement?
Not at this time. And we have it for some time and for many years, because there's no way that we could have used our cash flow. Capital asset expenditures. Expenditures of $5,000 or more per unit on items having an estimated useful life of 2 years or more are capital assets for the purpose of classification of expenditures. Capital assets are depreciated using the straight line method over the estimated useful lives of various classes of assets. The estimated useful life of depreciable capital assets are as follows, and then there's a table there listing all of those. We use that. Other depreciable property is determined by the IRS publication 946, and that's how we follow that. Policies that need to be developed. The following are policies we need to develop: anti-fraud and corruption policy, debt policy, the transfer policy, a uniform policy, a vehicle use policy, uniform and shoe policy, meal reimbursement policy, credit card use policy, training reimbursement policy, an update on the purchasing and procurement policy, and a new salary possible. It is possible one or more of these policies exist, however, research to locate them and possible updates may be needed in the future. These are to protect you, and in the future, we're not saying anybody will do anything out of the ordinary, but you need them as a city to protect you. And they're required by, some of them have been recommended by your municipal advisor, and they're required for your credit ratings. So, when my position or other positions that come to you and recommend that you need these policies, it's highly recommended that you do get them and get them passed as soon as possible, because you need them for your credit ratings when you go out for lease purchases or grant funding or anything like that in order to be able to obtain those. Moving on page 24 is your budget calendar. So that's just showing you that yes, we do have one, and that yes, I try to stick to that as best as possible. We get off a little bit, but we do try to stick with that. On page 27, you'll see our breakdown of total revenue sources. You'll see that our largest one there is obviously charges for services, followed by
Charges for services would be like our electric rates, water rates, and all that, correct?
Yeah, charges for services are the largest one, and then obviously sales tax is going to be somewhere in the midst of that, probably next. So, obviously I've got sales tax on the next page showing you your sales tax history, and then if you drew a straight line across that graph, we would be stagnant. And I have pretty much explained this to most departments as what stagnant sales tax equals in our economy. Means that the city of Cuba is not growing and that people are not buying things in the city of Cuba, which is not good for our sales tax and our economy here for us. It's one of our largest revenue sources for the city of Cuba, so when it's not growing, we are not getting revenue, and it's staying the same pretty much every month. So I just wanted to kind of show you that our revenue for sales tax is staying the same every month. It's not getting any larger. On page 31, you can see the breakdown of the total revenue sources comparison, and then the breakdown of the total revenue sources too, a little different there. And then on page 34 is our expenditure breakdown. You can see the breakdowns there for sources. Again, the biggest source of revenue expenditures for us is going to be salary and benefits. At 33% of our expenditures for the year is 33%. So it is the largest one coming in. And then on the next page is the expenditures by department on 35, and obviously the big one is coming in on the electric department. It's a given, they're a large department, but coming in next in our non-business-like activity department would be the general fund, and that is concerning to me because they do not have their own revenue source without sales tax, and they don't make enough sales tax to cover their own revenue. So when they're coming in at 23.5% of the expenditures for our budget, where's the revenue coming in to offset that? So that's something to look at. And then there's your capital outlay, kind of giving you where the money's being spent in capital outlay this year. And I just put it in bar graph and pie graph as well.
So basically, with the general being that small, to try to generate more revenue for the general fund, which is sales tax. Am I understanding that correct?
Well, sales tax is basically our biggest, there's about,
No, I'm
1 cent
just
sales tax
saying, the
coming in.
sales tax goes into the general fund.
They have a 1 cent sales tax.
Okay.
And some other.
So
some other-
hypothetically, if we could get economic development in here, and get some retail stores in here that sell things to try to put the internet out of business, that would be nice. Then our sales tax would increase, so we need to be focusing on maybe some economic development to help boost our general fund. Correct? Hypothetically?
Or other avenues to create revenue. That's about the best answer I can give you for that one.
Okay.
The next one, of course, is our salary plan, and obviously there is no increase. This plan was put into place in 2020. There is currently no raise in place as we cannot afford one this year. I love all my coworkers, but I have done everything in my power to put a raise in place, and there is no chance that a raise is going to fit. And then on page 43 starts our actual budget numbers, and those are exactly the way they were at the last meeting, so. That is your budget in a nutshell. And yes, there is a hiring freeze based on what was voted on at the last meeting, because we need to absorb the attrition. We cannot afford to, hire at this point, add any more positions to our budget, and that was voted on at the last meeting. As well as a spending freeze, so anything voted in will have a spending freeze, and they will need to bring it to you for approval. And that was voted on at the last meeting.
There's only one department that needs added to, and that's the police department. We're not adding, we're replacing.
It would be a hiring freeze for any additions or anything. It was hiring freeze was for supervisors only. That was voted on.
You gotta have a police force. You have to have.
And situations are gonna come up where we're gonna have to hire people. I mean, we lost 8 people in like 2 months before, and, you know, we can't just say there's a hiring freeze and we can't hire anybody no matter what.
Because that's the way I'll take it. Let's say we have 5 guys on the electric department, 2 quit. There's a freeze, that leaves us with 3.
Yeah,
Is
and
that basically what you're saying?
2 from any department is gonna be.
Well, that's what I'm trying to clarify. It's a freeze across the board. And through, what do you call it, the word again?
It's attrition.
Attrition. That means if you got 5 in the electric department, 2 quit tomorrow, they're down to 3.
Well, it depends on what the work center is. There are minimums that they have to have in your enterprise funds, the ones that are such as your electric department, your natural gas, your water, and your sewage. Those are enterprise funds, and they're funded through their fees. So there are minimums that they have to have in their work centers. So because they are fee-based and it's required.
So we're at the minimums now for the water, electric, sewer, all the other departments.
Pretty much at the minimums for all the departments right now.
And the police are gonna be 2 down. And how are we gonna protect the citizens in this town? We have to have police 24/7, 365. We need to find some other way to come up with money than to not rehire employees we already have.
Well, I guess when the city doesn't have the money to pay for the employees, then what are you going to do? I can only make numbers work for so long. I mean, I'm not trying to be the bad guy, but when there's not money in the bank to pay for the employees, and you have to lay employees off, then I guess you can say I'm the bad guy and I couldn't make it work. But at some point, you're going to get to that point where you have to lay employees off, because you're not going to have money to pay for them.
So this budget, how many police officers is in the 2027 budget?
Well, right now, you have a full budget for 14, but at some point, you're going to have to absorb through attrition. When one goes away, you are going to have to absorb through attrition in the police department. And they are going to have to figure and manage their own department. I mean, unfortunately, I hate to break that news, and I hate to be that person, but at some point, we have to start lowering the staff numbers there.
One of the issues we're going to have is the fact that we have a police dog, and we have a grant that could possibly have to be paid back if we don't have an officer to handle that dog.
There are other officers in that police department that can handle that dog.
They are not trained.
They have to be certified.
They have to be certified. We don't have any officers that are certified.
You do.
Who?
He works at the school.
You gotta have a resource officer too.
I mean, you know, and it seems like it's always this department that gets picked on.
Well, currently you have,
Maybe we need to
you
look
have
at
a
other
grounds
departments
department that has been
Get
attrited.
private part-time help in.
You have a grounds department that got attrited, and then I also recommended in the street department that they be attrited and you turn me down. I mean, there are certain departments that have to have attrition, and I can only make the recommendations where I see fit. I'm trying, you guys have a certain amount of cash flow in your bank account, and I can only make the recommendations where I see fit. Eventually, the bank account's gonna get to where we're gonna have to go to the banker and say, we need help. And then, what are you gonna do then? I mean, at some point.
So my question here is, I mean, we're talking taxpayers just like me, and the people I represent more than one. We're looking at this one, okay, we're hearing the bad news, we're gonna have to get rid of people, Is there anything that we're not doing right now to improve our income? Are we up to date on what we can charge on water and sewer and gas? Are we at the max that we can do that is still in line with our surrounding communities? What is it that we can be doing to generate income?
Yeah, I believe so on the water and the sewer, you are doing what you can. You can't throw it all at them, you can't throw the book at them at once.
I agree.
But that's all going to start coming in this year, right?
And it's been put in place and implemented as far as in the budget. But it's not gonna happen overnight. You're not gonna see that in the next couple of billing cycles. I mean, it's gonna take a while for that to go in place.
We're raising the rates on water and sewer.
And
We're raising the rates on electric. We're raising the rates on natural gas. But you don't get all that money at one time.
And you're not gonna get to see all of that go to the police department. Unfortunately, all that can't go to the police department. It can't go to the general fund to be utilized.
It has to be used.
Do you guys understand?
No reserves.
Do you guys understand what commingling is?
Yes.
What?
Commingling. People that have been in municipal government or whatever understands what that term is. What's happened is, I asked her a little while ago so that you guys can understand. We were supposed to be capped at 17%. What's happening is, for the past ever, 15, 20, however long you want to say it, we have basically used everything that the electric, the water, the natural gas, any revenue coming in, we decided that we're going to use it. If we need to hire another person here, if we need to buy this, we need to do that, or whatever, we use those funds. All of our auditors, way back when, I mean, I've went back all the way to '96, but the audits that happened in like 2019, a forced audit was done. And every audit since then, our auditors have told us that we have to have policies in place. Those policies that they're talking about are the ones that she mentioned earlier in this thing. One of those is telling you that you have to cap your revenue that you're using from your enterprise funds. GASB, is that how you say it?
Yes.
GASB, sorry. GASB is the law, and it tells you that you cannot commingle your funds. You're supposed to have funds for each one of your enterprise funds, your proprietary funds, and everything. When you take money out of those, you're supposed to regulate what you do. You have to build a restricted fund. This past year, in 1 month, How much was our bill for 1 month during the cold snap?
1.1 million.
Right? We should have somewhere between $6 and $8 million in our reserves, and we don't have that. When she reads off say the electric department, and she says it has an asset or a reserve fund balance of like 6 million or something like that, you gotta remember, that's not cash in hand that can be used. That's assets, that's vehicles, that's everything that the electric department has. That's not your restricted fund for if we had an emergency. In 1 month, in January, we got hit with $1 million bill.
Yes, we had to vote to pay it.
Right now, we're suffering the consequences of not having rate increases since 2000. I'm guessing because I can't find the information, but I think electric's probably been 2009, 10, somewhere around here.
10.
Natural gas,
10.
10. Natural gas was somewhere around 2014, water was somewhere around 2014, and we're slowly trying to do incremental raises, because when you don't do raises for 10, 15, 20 years, we can't come to the taxpayer and say, let's just, if say Rolla, Owensville, somewhere is at $1.89 on natural gas alone, and we're at $1.35, we can't go to the taxpayer and say, okay, well, we didn't do any raises all along, so now we're gonna raise this up to $1.89 because we would cripple the people that are on Social Security, fixed incomes or whatever. So we have to do small incremental raises in small annually. We gotta do small raises to get us back competitive so that we can pay our bills. So yes, it's gonna hurt for a little while, but we cannot commingle our funds. That is restricted. We are not allowed, that's why they call them restricted funds. Somehow the wording got changed to reserve funds. That's not the right word to use for these. It's supposed to be restricted funds, meaning that you're not supposed to take, and we have a fund balance policy. I don't know why it was never used for many, many years or whatever. But if we capped ourselves right now, which we're going to be doing policies, if we cap ourselves right now, if we actually adhere to that rule, how would we pay the people that we're talking about hiring? In fact, would we have the revenue to pay the ones that we have? So that's where we're coming from. We're just saying, hey, we're going to have to watch ourselves because these policies are going to happen. We are committed to the McBride project. Our infrastructure is going to have to grow. All of these things are going to require grants. Every one of them, they're going to look at our financial situation. And all those write-ups that we got from the audits said what? We must have our policies in place. So we're going to be addressing that tonight to try to help get those, so when they look at our finances, even if we don't look good on the financial side, they can see that we're addressing the problems that were annotated by the auditors, both at the city level and the municipal level, so they can say, okay, yes, a little bit of a risk, but at least they're addressing the issues. If we don't address the issues, the money's not going to be there. It's pretty much that simple. Why would anybody take the risk on us if we're in such bad financial situations? So, anyway.
The only thing I have to say about that is, if you look at the books, since 2020 to the 2024 audit, we spent $4.3 million more than we took in. So that comes out of our not restricted reserve, not reserve, it's restricted funds. We spent $4.3 million more than we made, took in. Can't keep doing this, or we'll be out of business. That's simple.
And it's not that I'm picking on one department, it's picking on a department where, in a fund that is taking in money from outside sources that needs to be eliminated. And unfortunately, in that fund, that's the largest department that needs to have it's the largest department it has with expenditures right now, with wage and benefits. So at some point, we have to look at it and go, okay, in the general fund, where can we look at the cuts that need to be made? And we start going down through there and looking, and there are no other cuts that can be made, and that's where it's not a picking on department effort. We cut in the grounds department, and made other cuts. I also made a recommendation in the streets department, and you all turned me down on that one. So it's not like I'm picking on one other department. If I could, when I make recommendations, I will make them as I see fit for attrition. Because yes, I feel that there are some other departments that could possibly make recommendations on that as well. But they have not had any at this time.
But how many officers do you have right now, Doug?
Right now, we have 10 until, well, with the new one coming in that we haven't committed to hire July 25th. Olaf is out, so we have 10 officers working on a skeleton crew right now. You know, I got, you know, my job as the chief is to protect my officers and their safety and numbers, and we're asking our officers to work 24/7 and work by themselves, when there's domestics going on or whatever else there is. I mean, right now, I have officers working by themselves.
Because I don't think you know that another one quit. You do. So now he's down 3. Well, what we voted on last night doesn't go into effect till July 1st, right? Or the other night.
Correct.
You don't have a second and approved budget yet.
So
Just
we
a quick question.
can't let them be down 3 officers and not have coverage.
Anything can come before the council.
Well, my stance will always remain the same on the hiring in the department. I feel like we can still go down to a minimum. I feel like we are comparable right now to other cities in our area. I've done the research. I've talked to other cities. I believe that answer on that is definitely, you know, why in 2022 do we not need a canine officer and now all of a sudden we do? So, why is it so important to have one today that 2022 we do not need one?
Nobody said we didn't need one then. It took us this long to get one.
No, it was voted on in the minutes that we did not need a canine officer because it costs a lot and they wanted to split the money for the remaining officers. So, again, amongst them all. So, I mean, now and
That was not done in 2022, we split the money up in officer. That was not done in 2022. You're saying 4 years ago we did that, that was not done in 22. That's when Mark is back, whenever we eliminated Mark's position, had nothing to do with King's position.
But, you know, and then they got a $6,000 a year raise a couple years ago, so.
That was the splitting of the officer way back when we eliminated Mark's position.
Well, but they also got an additional $6,000 about 2 years ago.
No, I didn't get a additional $6,000.
Yeah, you did.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, let's go. So we need a discussion approval of the final fiscal year 27 budget. Do we have a first?
I thought we already discussed.
I'm pretty sure you have.
Yeah.
We had to have it.
First and second.
Pretty long discussion.
She wanted to do a presentation.
That's right, they did start changing, you wanted to do your presentation.
You want to see the presentation first, so do we have a first? To approve the budget? Ray has a first.
Second.
Second, is yours. Roll call.
Beth,
No.
Brennan,
Yes.
Renee,
Yes.
Mormar,
Yes.
Carter,
I gotta say no.
Marcel.
New Mayor.
Budget passes with a yes. Number 7, discussion and approval to contract CPA firm to establish financial policies and work with the municipal advisor. Is this in all of our packets? There should be a form, a sheet in your thing, it's called agenda item number 7. Discussion approval to contract CPA firm to establish financial policies and work with the municipal advisor. Christy Matthews, CPA, Bush Matthews and Associates, CPA. Christy Matthews has offered her services pro bono to assist Jennifer with establishing financial policies and assisting working with the municipal advisor. As these services are time consuming, it will allow Jennifer to still do and keep up with the day-to-day work. Jennifer and Christy have spoken and believe it will be a good working collaboration moving forward. The reason this came out is the policies that we're talking about are extensive policies that are supposed to be in place. For one person to write them, it would probably take her about a year and a half to write all those policies. And that's if she has the information she needs to write those policies. Christy Matthews has done numerous municipal, has written numerous policies. Our municipal advisor recommended that we start these as soon as possible so that he can have them in place to show that we are working to solve all of the problems that the audits, to include his, have shown. So we're requesting to go out. She is not charging us anything. Christy grew up in this town. She's a graduate of Cuba High School. She went to college. She owns the cemetery out between Cuba and F Highway. Her family is here, so she has a vested interest in this community. So she wanted to do this pro bono, no charge to us, to assist the municipal advisor. She will be doing no advising at all. She will not have access to our computer system. Anything that she works on will be through the municipal advisor and through Jennifer. She will not have access to any of our computers, and she will not be doing any advising of our municipal, the way we run our municipal government. She is strictly here to write policies.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So now we need to get a contract written with Emery. Anybody opposed? Okay. Pickleball court project, discussion approval of a bid for pavilion shades inside your packet. First I want to say, Al, fantastic job, you guys at the street department, having to alter that pavement and the slopes and everything to meet up with the new concrete to meet the ADA requirements and everything. You guys did a fantastic job. If you guys haven't seen it, had to kind of re-engineer the center part because it did not get done when the pickleball courts were done, and then the fences went up and the things got finished. So they couldn't do the concrete in one pour, no access without hitting the fences. So we were blessed in that Mr. Shymack funded the new concrete, and then Al and them come in, milled back the asphalt, made that meet the concrete, and I think it looks fantastic. Then they came out and placed all the stop guards up. They painted the handicap. They put the dirt down around the three sides today, and it looks fantastic. Hopefully we'll get some grass down, seed down, and some straw here in the next couple of days. And then signs hopefully will be ordered tonight. So the pickleball court sunshade bids are in front of you. We thought we were going to have 3 bids, and then one of them never did show up. So I contacted them, and they did not get their bid for them. So Michael Montgomery, our public works supervisor, and Don did some research and came up with these 2 options that would meet our requirement. Out of the 2 options, we could either go with 2 12 by 24 or 1 12 by 24 sunshade. Michael is on vacation right now. He recommended doing the 2, so that way if we should have any kind of damage to, we don't lose the whole structure, we'd be able to have one while we work We made sure we had the footings poured so that we can attach them when they come in. They are pass through, so we'll have to do some boring of the concrete, but they feel like they can do those after talking to AJ and a couple of guys, they feel like they can do it. So the two bids that you have in front of us, there's one for a 12 by 24 and the other one is for two 14 by 24s.
The guy that does the one, he also do the,
I'm sorry?
did these guys both get the opportunity to bid for two?
They're an online company or whatever, they did not provide it, they did not have a two. They only had a 14 by 24, and then they had a 12 by 24, and then they had a 24 by 24. But they did not have a 12 by 24, 12 by 24s. And the other one did not have a 12 by 24. That's 24 by 24. Or something like that. Yeah, get my numbers mixed up. So you can have two of the 12 by, I think they're 12 by 12s, or one 12 by 24.
I think it would be better with the two 12 by 12, like you said, if one gets damaged, if it's just one, it's,
We still have the other.
yeah.
And what's, these ones coming out of them?
These will come out of Mr. Shadman, this fundraiser.
Donation.
Okay. So, I make a motion to go with the two 12 by 12 bid.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Okay. Two 12 by 12s. All right. Pickleball court project, discussion approval of the Shimack Family Foundation pickleball complex signs. If you look in your folder, there are bids in here for signs.
Did we post these in the paper? Or some taking bids?
I'm sorry?
Did we put in the paper that we were asking for bids?
We went to the two companies that,
Got Cuba Marble and Granite, right up the road.
you can put it back out if you want. I have no problem doing it.
Probably think that might be a good
Probably
idea.
the right thing to do, right?
We got two bids, so we can go back out for
I
bid.
think we need to, I think publicly.
So then we'll have to go out with the newspaper ad. We have a motion to go out for bid.
Motion?
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Go out for bid for new signs. How much time frame? How long do we want to go out for bids?
Maybe some 1 or 2 weeks and then a month,
That's normally what you do, is at least
2 weeks is our normal.
2 weeks. So do we hang on to these two and then we just add to it?
You know, we're doing now.
Or do we have to redid everything?
Well, it's not really fair to the two guys that's already bid.
Yeah, so
But
they'll,
the third guy knows exactly what he
right,
wants.
so we'll have to go back out.
We're redoing.
Okay.
So they'll have to revise their bids.
Let's collect those bids. We have to collect all those bids and keep them.
Okay.
So that maybe not advertised.
So we got some copy now.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's a good idea.
For those signs. I'll make sure they both know that their bids were open and Discussion approval, so we'll table that. Discussion approval of landscape and interest in pickleball court. We kind of polled you guys and we agreed on the 2-inch gravel outside in between the asphalt and everything, but we want to approve that tonight. So we need a first and a second to approve the,
What are we doing to it?
we did the 2-inch gravel that was between, that they recommended to do, but we want to bring it to make sure that it was formally done.
Motion.
I'll second it.
All those in
To
favor?
accept the work that's already done.
Yeah, well,
Aye.
that's why we contacted you guys to make sure, because they want to get it before the wedding.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, electric department, Midmo Trust transformer discussion, approval of contract.
No.
No.
And so the contract, you have the contract, to review. So it's just contract form of everything you approved at the last meeting. So you would just need to approve it, and then you can submit it to the other company for their approval before we move forward.
Then it'll come back to us after they sign it and agree to it, then it'll come back to us.
My one question is, do they agree to buy the new one as well as the old one?
So it's within this contract, so then we would present it to them, and if they accept that, then they will sign it.
Okay, because it says here the majority vote, if they would authorize us to sell it. I don't want to sell it for them if they're going to buy it.
I'm saying that you guys approved for us.
Okay, all right.
Okay, need a motion and a second.
Motion to approve the contract.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, underground primary wire bids, discussion and approval. Andy couldn't be here tonight, so Andy's filling in.
Andy submitted 2 bids, one from Westco and one from Fletcher Reinhardt. Westco is also Annixter. So Andy's recommendation was to go with the Westco Annixter bid. And it is, I don't know what kind of wire that is. The total is $10,454.05. And the Fletcher Reinhardt bid is $10,831.06.
I'll make a motion, we go with Andy's recommendation.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Planning and zoning recommendations. Hutch Rental Properties LLC rezoning request R1 to R2, Board of Alderman, public hearing, discussion, and approval. Should be in your packet.
So I gave you their letter of intent. Planning and zoning has already met. They had their first hearing regarding this request from R1 to R2. They did motion to recommend moving forward with the request. So to move forward, we just need an approval to have the Board of Alderman public hearing. It's just the next step within the process.
So it's,
And you were there, I mean, there were some alternate there, if anybody would like to add more to the conversation.
wait for first and second discussion.
I'll make the motion.
Motion?
Second.
So the discussion is it's a be reclassified from R1 zoning to R2 zoning. Okay, I'm not sure, I'm not familiar with zoning, what is R1, what's R2?
R1 is residential, and R2 is multifamily.
Single family, multi-family. It's 2 quadplexes.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Roll call, Lisa? Hartzell?
Yes.
Crawford?
Yes.
Warmeyer?
Yes.
Renieri?
Yes.
Roseman?
Yes.
Bass?
Yes.
Good. Approval to start a 501c3 for the police department. This would be for children events, correct, Doug?
Correct.
So this needs to be.
Could it be for anything else?
I don't know how.
No, they're specific at the, community foundation, when we set them up, they have asked for a specific, what you're using the money for. And so when he asks for it for children events or whatever else he's asking for it, when we submit invoices, they have to be specifically for those items or the money will not be processed through.
I mean, could you ask for more than one thing?
They are pretty particular about how they want that set up.
I think my question here is, we know the one kids event that they're wanting to use it for, what if in the future they have another separate kids event, maybe not the exact same thing, but something that involves youth, like a fishing tournament or.
I think we can just.
Adult kids are
I
just-
think it can just be set up as children's, and it's like our one is set up as the parks projects or whatever, it's not specific to the LWCF grant.
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
Jeff already made.
Oh, did our, sorry, Jeff.
Who's second?
Just to be clear, Mayor, this is not the city setting up the five not-for-profit.
It is not.
Partnering with the
It's the
community.
agency
It's not.
partnership.
It's, yeah, we just submit the stuff to them for reimbursement to us.
Same company that we set up parks.
Through the parks, okay. I just wanna make sure that,
We did
It's
not
clear in the
clarify
minutes.
that it is the agency
yes.
partnering that we are doing. Okay, first by Bass. Did we have a second? Okay.
Can you read that back off to us? What you wrote
Make the motion?
there? Yeah, what they said, because we want to make sure it says police department, children events.
501c agency partnership for the police department, specifically for children's events.
Thank you. Okay, item 12, attorney legal representation.
Yes, they got first and second only.
Sorry, my apologies. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 12, attorney legal representation, bids and approval. Should have two.
Make a motion, we go with Williams Robertson.
As attorney legal.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion?
It won't be Zoom calls, or
No, no. I think the other one was.
So, they did say that they would show up, but you do pay them by hour for the travel time and everything, and it has, every once in a while will do Zoom. We get Emily
do we have
in the flesh.
second?
Yeah,
We
already
got the
have
first and
second.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, welcome back.
Oh.
That wasn't directed toward you.
The Zoom,
Yeah.
oh, I know.
Police chief report.
I don't have a lot on nuisance, we just got one in today, in reference to, a large tree over someone's backyard fence. I'm going to have to look into that a little further before I have any more information on that, or have a campaign of that with that person's complaint, so. And any other nuisances, I haven't had anything else come across my desk. I have, the Department of Agricultural, audit from the state. This is a copy for the council. It's a large one. I didn't make a whole bunch of them for everybody, whoever wants to try to read that.
So this is just a smaller.
That is an inspection. It's also on the very last page.
Okay.
That's just the,
So this is like the
oh,
official.
no, let me see what you have there. Yeah, that's the official. That's the whole thing.
Okay.
If there's any questions in reference to it, Missy can probably answer those a lot easier than I can. Basically, from looking at it, everything over the pound's running fine. There's a couple things, and they listed on the inspection of things they needed to change, things they were unaware of, and just one thing that just kind of slipped by that they found. It's not a big deal, it's not a regular occurring thing, but if anybody has any other questions in reference to that and that list of complaints, they can.
I read it all, she got it cleaned up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than a minor thing or two, that one, nothing.
Feral cats and something.
Motion
Hiring a K-9 officer position, discussion approval.
I'm not there yet.
Oh, sorry, SRO agreement with Cuba School, discussion approval.
I did not
So
have.
this is your copy. That's the agreement with the school, signed, ready for mayor, my signature, for $46,000 a year to supplement an officer's pay. And that just needs to be accepted.
What's this?
What?
We have this. This, go out.
I don't have this before now. I think you have seen it because you met this
Right.
before, so. So is this the same agreement that we had prior, like in other past years?
Yes, the same agreement except that this is one in the meeting that we're in, Mr. Mayor, where we came up with the 33.
This is the one where we met with
Yeah,
Dr. Davidson.
38, 33, 33?
Yeah.
Yeah, that adds up to 46,000 a year that they're willing to supplement.
This one, in a previous meeting, I think Lou and, had approached Doug about going to the school to see whether or not they would help us fund one of the SROs. They have 3 in the school, and we pay for 2 of them, and, the sheriff's department pays for 1. So Doug did that. He set up a meeting with myself, Doug, Dr. Davidson, and the board president, Jennifer Moreland, and they proposed paying $46,000, which comes out to $3,833.33 per month toward one of the SROs if we would keep 2 of them in the school. We tentatively agreed on it because they had to take it before the board first. So that's what we're proposing tonight, in hopes that we could keep both of our SROs in the school since the school came back and met the need to at least, even though they're not fully funding the position, they are funding what they can.
So is this a motion so they can take it before the school board for
No,
approval?
they have to get it approved. That's why it didn't come to us first. It had to go to them to approve.
So it's been approved by the school board?
Yes, it's already been approved.
You guys just need to approve the mayor to sign it, and then I'll sign it.
I make the motion.
I second.
All those in favor? Doug, you're still need to sign it.
I'll sign it and then make copies so she has a copy of everything afterwards.
And now hiring a K-9 officer position, discussion approved.
I know, I've heard everything, so I just want to put my spiel in as chief of police. I just want to put my spiel in, that this is a service that the city pays for the protection of all citizens. We are down officers. We do have a K-9 that is on the grant. I think Russ actually, hint on that a little bit, the details of that grant. We do need to keep the dog rolling. The K-9 is something that is something an officer has to want to do. I can't just make someone, hey, take this dog home, care for it, and then run it. Not every officer has that ability to do it. Now, also asking, the K-9 officer is also a road working, a patrolman, taking reports and stuff. And like I said, there's safety in numbers. If I know we're on a hiring freeze, if we choose, and this is a decision completely up to you guys, if you decide to hire or not to hire. This is a decision on you. Lost my train of thought here, but if we stop hiring and we start asking my officers to start working by themselves, we'll lose more. When we lose more, we don't have a bunch of people putting applications in. It's rare to have officers putting the applications in. So many departments pay more than we do. We'll just leave it at that. They can go anywhere else. And people aren't getting into law enforcement like they used to back in the day. People used to go to the academy, and there's a bunch of people looking for jobs.
So what are you proposing?
I have an officer that's willing to come in and handle the dog. I believe he can get certified for $0. If I have anybody else do it, it's gonna cost $2,000 to $4,000 to get him certified. He would have to be certified with that dog, but because he's a handler before, he should be able to be talking with the trainers. He should be able to most likely get certified for 0, is what we're hoping.
So he's been certified before?
Yes, he's been certified. He knows
And
how to handle
is that
it.
certification?
He actually handles our retired dog. He keeps it at home.
Did he work here before?
He did. Ben Weber has worked here for,
The issue is he has to be certified with that animal.
yes.
And what I'm concerned about is, he's saying 0, it's not gonna cost us anything.
He's been, right, so he's been trained and certified with our previous canine. Talking with the trainers, they're like, well, if we know who his trainer is, they should be able to certify him with our new dog for $0. They said it should be able to, we already have a contract with them for training already, so it shouldn't cost anything further on that.
So until we know that, though, we really can't vote on anything. But besides that, is he willing to work for what we were paying?
Well, no. In order for him to come in, you'd want 52.
How much experience does he have?
8 years.
8 years?
We can't afford it.
So,
Do we know what the dollar amount
What
is?
was the dollar amount for that position?
That's actually a good question.
46,000 for a starting employee.
46,000.
Yeah, how much was the
Yeah,
grant?
what's the dollar amount?
the grant on there for the dog was somewhere, I don't have that number with me, but I'm going to say somewhere around 16,000 and then $8,000 on training.
Well, my proposal is that we table this until we know what it costs us if we have to pay the grant back, whether or not he's willing to work for what we're offering. And then,
It's 52. He won't come from us. It's 52 to work the dog. He already gave me the blessing to say it's 52. And that's all, and that's the only applicant I have for the position. So,
What's the starting pay be?
for a new officer who comes in at 46, and that's what we've always started everybody at, was 46. It's just not a desirable number as other places pay, so.
And you're down 3 officers right now?
Yeah,
And what would you say they thought the grant
and
was?
one on light duty.
16.
We'll see.
One on light duty?
I don't quote me on those numbers, I don't. I saw the numbers, I'm not 100% on that number on the cost of the dog and the OP board. So it's just a matter of what you guys want to do. I mean, it's, I don't want to lose officers because we're not hiring officers either. Because then we'll have even less officers.
If we didn't hire, where would the dog go?
It's a good question.
Most departments will not take what is considered a used dog.
No, they won't. We can't sell the dog. We can't give the dog away.
So the dog.
It's our dog by grant.
The only way this dog can go anywhere is if it's officially retired.
Yeah, you'd have to retire the dog, and I don't know what to do with the grant stuff.
when do we take the grant, and when does it run out?
I'm thinking that grant was two years, 3 years ago? 3 years ago, I think.
Jennifer, you know what the term was on that grant?
It was through the opioid board. We got the money through the opioid board. There was no official grant.
Well, somebody said something.
Well,
earlier.
it's their grant process. They called it a grant.
Somebody in this, in the meeting earlier, I thought I had overheard, so correct me if I'm wrong. Do we have a certified handler within the department now?
No.
Yes or no?
He quit.
Huh?
He quit.
Okay.
Doug, a question. What if the handler can't, the dog won't respond to the handler? A lot of them are dedicated just to one animal.
I already talked to them, they said it wouldn't be an issue. I talked to the people that got the dog from the training facility, they said it's not an issue.
They're trained to respond to commands, what language they use for the commands.
It's wording that they use.
Don't say it.
Hey, Joe.
So, you're down, you're gonna be down one
Service from
No. Right now, currently, down 3, 1 on light duty. In July, we'll get one, so we'll be down 2, 1 on light duty.
And how long is light duty lasting, do you know? Or did we discuss that?
That is not, that's up to his doctor.
Okay, I didn't know if they had a time frame. I don't know what happened, I don't know anything, so. I didn't know
It's
if
up to
it
his
was-
doctor.
Okay.
I don't know when it's not, I think it's next week, is his next time.
Says that here.
That's what I have on that.
So you wanted to wait till we got all the information?
I'd like to find out.
That's
more
up to you guys.
On the grant,
But it'd be after July 1st when we have another meeting.
and then we'd have to also know what the cost is on the training, because we don't 100% know that either.
So if we were to table something that needs to be decided on, and then the fiscal year rolls around, can that tabled item be backtracked to the last fiscal year then? Does that make sense? What I'm trying to say?
It's not the same.
No,
Okay.
no.
So we must have to decide on
So can we have another meeting before July 1st?
I'd be more than happy to have a meeting before July first.
Yes, because we need all that information.
Yeah.
I have no problem doing a special meeting for emergency matter.
Yeah.
But we gotta have more information, Joe, so we need to go.
Yeah, I made phone calls, been waiting for phone calls back, but what I gave you is the most I got. They said most likely 0 to give, just to certify them, just stuff like that.
What it relies on is the dog responding to his commands, basically.
Do what?
What it relies on is the dog responding to his commands.
Right. Well, before he's certified, I mean, if he was rehired, he would work the dog, he would work with the dog himself and stuff, because he knows how to do that stuff. He wouldn't be working the dog, he couldn't take the dog on calls until he's certified, but he'd work with the dog himself, get used to the dog, understand the dog, and then he'd probably have a day up there with them to be certified, to make sure that, yes.
But even if we voted on him tonight, he would not work for what we're offering. He would require $52,000 a year.
And we just have one officer paid for in that school.
You know,
But you can't save money, you can't save money and then spend money. And that's not the purpose of trying to balance the budget.
But we have 14 budgeted. She said for next year.
Need a motion from somebody. What do you want to do?
Whoever made a motion.
Shoot. What was the motion?
Right? I didn't hear much.
you wait a minute.
Last I have is that we will possibly have a special meeting for emergency hire if necessary, and we'll table the discussion.
Do you have anybody else to hire? No.
Not right now.
So you're
And then
down,
if anybody applies, I can't
so you're
say,
down,
hey, do you want to be, and they're like, no, I mean, I can't present them for that.
So they also have to have training, which is the
Yeah.
4,000.
He's got 8 years' experience.
It's probably gonna be hard to hire an officer. We can't get a road officer, let alone get one to come in that wants to be a canine officer.
and then, like I said, the other problem we have right now, how long is he gonna stay?
That's true.
I think we can say that about just about anybody with a bottle on beer and drop. Nothing.
Oh,
I need a motion, whatever you guys want to do.
We're talking. Trying to think.
It is, I understand it's a tough one. But, you know, it's,
So, let me get this right now. Right now, just say 14 is what's budgeted, and you have 11 right now? Well, after July 1st, how many, what's your, that'll be 12.
So you're
And then
down
if we
two.
hired this gentleman, that would be 13.
So you'd still be down one even if we hired this guy, right?
I don't know which number to give you. If we can take a break from this for 1 second, I'll start my discussion. The other thing that's not on the agenda.
Well, no, we need to, we can't.
Do we need a motion to table?
It's not on, it's not on.
This police chief report,
Motion.
I'm listening to you.
this is police chief report,
What's that? Well, it's
you're under police chief report,
It's-
so I would
the
say.
new officer resigned. He decided it wasn't for him, the one we put through the academy. It was not for him, he resigned. He said he can't handle it. I don't know the actual reasons, just what he put on the resignation. I'll just give this to Lane, it is your copy.
And so how many are you down with him leaving?
No, okay, so with him down, I'm down, and before, the other young lady we committed to hire July 25th, we're down, and Olaf on light duty, we're down 4 officers. With, once Olaf is back to duty, it would be 13. Once she's on, we'd be at 12 and, no, 11. Dang it. 4, okay, I got my numbers wrong. Sorry, don't write all that down. Dang. Okay, we're down 4. Once Olaf's back, we'll be up to 11. Once the other young lady that we hired on July 25th, we'll be down to 12.
And this guy would be 13 if we hired him.
He would be 13.
More than we can do a canine.
Yeah, so.
I'm sorry, what'd you say? I didn't hear.
I think we need an officer more than we do a canine officer. Really?
Well, we have the canine and we have, and this guy is trained, I think, but we don't have anybody wanting the job.
Now, is your canine, street officer as well?
Not a paid one. What do you mean by, is my canine officer?
So what all does, I think.
Oh, the canine officer, you said canine. The canine, yeah, he's regular patrolman, he does all the work that a patrolman does. He does all the work patrolman does, he just runs the canine.
Two cars, so he.
For him, yeah.
I hate when they dictate what we have to pay.
But we're still, even if we hire this one, we're down.
Well,
I would only be down 1. You've got one coming out of school in July, Olaf will be hopefully in July, and then if you hire Brad, so you'd only be down 1 officer.
Let me say
Hire
this,
this one.
Then,
I mean, Ben, sorry.
let me say this,
Budget next year didn't factor in 52,000 for an officer, so.
Yeah, that's a big downfall, I understand.
and an officer with 8 years' experience, no matter where he goes, is going to garner more than a starting officer at police.
yes. Exactly.
well,
And
I'm
if we
looking
don't,
at,
if
I'm
we
looking at
don't
this.
get the next officer, then
I'm looking at this too. We're looking, and I'm gonna call them by numbers. You got officer 13, you have officer 14, we're short. Okay? If this gentleman was hired, he would be officer 13.
yeah.
Okay? If you take officer 13 salary start and officer 14 salary start, it's 92,000 a year. Where we would eliminate, if we did this, we could eliminate officer 14 completely. And we would actually still be saving.
We would.
But we have to eliminate a permanent officer 14.
Well, after July 1st, if there's a hiring freeze.
Not really, because I want to protect my officers, I've done work at domestics and stuff. And
Hey,
she,
got a question.
I mean, there was 2 officers on whenever Mark was shot. I mean,
Yeah.
Is this
and
officer,
luckily, he just got there before the other guy did, and he still got shot.
is this officer worked for us before?
Weber? Yes.
Well, when do you wanna hire back?
Yeah.
Why did he put us before?
Grass is always greener on the other side till they decide it's not, I guess. I don't know why he left.
Weber's the
Yeah.
one he was officer, he went to a retreatment.
I got you. Okay, I didn't wanna, just up and quit like most officers have, now and then.
Yeah, no, neither do I, but we have, they do that in every department, not just with the police department.
And is he currently employed now? So if they hire him half an hour, how quick could he start?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay.
And where do you come up with the extra revenue to pay for the extra $6,000? Because it's not accounted for.
Eliminating Officer 14.
That doesn't, it doesn't account for the six, that's great, but that's saving you money. I told you needed to do that anyways. I mean, I'm telling you, for the increased pay, you still need to account for an additional $6,000, plus you probably need to already do an elimination of number 14.
But number 14 is on the budget, so we would be deleting all the 6,000 of that, so that would be a savings.
I don't agree to eliminating 14 personally.
Well, starting July 1st, apparently we have a hiring freeze, so. If you don't take this one now and not get the next one, you won't get the next one anyway. Apparently.
We hire, if we hire, and then you probably ain't gonna get them.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. If you hire him,
I think if we don't hire, we probably won't get either of them.
That's right,
Exactly.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that actually makes the most sense, so we would be,
What ifs?
let me do some math here.
I'll still try.
What do you say, 52,000?
Plus benefits is another.
Plus benefits,
It's at about 89.
another third,
Yeah, but
another
that's
34%.
already 46 with benefits is already in there. He's not exactly right.
No, we get 46 gift benefits.
That's the same, yeah.
That's what I
Yeah,
said.
we did. It's not much.
Hospitalization. Let's do something.
But that's the other thing too, if another officer quits next, say another officer quits July 11th, they're on freeze.
We'll be in trouble.
No, we can hand on emergency hire.
Not if there's a hiring.
That's, in law enforcement, when you start asking officers to work by themselves and go on these hot calls, you start losing officers.
They never did that.
What's that?
I said, been there, done that. At a woman's house. For domestic.
101 days.
Many decades ago.
Two.
I've been on some pretty hot calls with you.
And I'm the only one on it.
We did it together.
All right.
So what do we think?
If I'm doing my math correctly, 2 officers, starting pay, 92,000 a year. If we hired Ben at 52,000 a year, and did not hire 14, that would give us a savings of 40,000. But that's the base salary, that's not looking at the extended benefits. Well, of course, we'll be eliminating that as well. But, right, only one. But, like, and then once again, I do agree with that. Trying to find good quality officers are hard right now. We've just seen, we just got presented, one started and quit. And that quick.
He was a good officer.
And he's gonna have to pay us.
Unless I'm reading this wrong. We just got 42,000 from the school, which is right now what we have over 46,000 from the school.
Yeah.
So what we're having, we've already paying that officer right now to do that job. So we've actually accumulated $46,000 that we didn't have 5 minutes ago, so.
Yeah.
Because we can't,
No, I'm just saying. I know what
You're
you're
trying to
saying.
balance budget, and it has nothing to do with the police department or anything. You gotta remember, whenever we save money, we can't look at it as, it's
I
just
know,
like
I'm
your
just
house.
saying,
You
though,
can't say, well, we saved
we
this,
had a
now let's
debt.
spend this.
Mr. Mayor, we have a deadlock right now.
Yeah.
We're trying to find
Yeah.
52,000, 42,000, 38,000, whatever it is. I'm just saying, we just saved. So, whatever you want to think.
So, yeah, that's another
Maybe
thing.
they'll do
$6,000 more than what we just.
It would be a question for her.
Did we already have that? Like,
No, the SRS amount of the revenue was not put in there because I honestly, it was left out.
the SRO.
Well, we did have.
We did not have a contract signed, it was not approved, so it will be one of the first revisions made in the first quarter.
Put your save SRO in since we do have it every month though.
Okay,
The acceptance of the school.
I make a motion to table this and have a special meeting. We're at a standstill right now. Let us all think about it and see what happens. That's my motion.
I'll second.
Do we want to set the date?
You can?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're talking daytime or evening time?
For me, it have to be in the evening, if it's during the week.
I think you should probably finish voting on
Yeah.
your motion before you set the
Yeah.
date.
Roll call? Roll call.
Mouse?
Vote till another day. In time.
I think we're motioning to table and then we'll work out the, this is my understanding.
It should be the only thing on the agenda, Judge.
It does.
Yeah.
But if I'm at work, I can't be here.
Same here.
It'll be after me.
All right.
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Conrad?
Yes.
Crawford?
Yes.
Hartzell?
Yes.
Now, set the date, Jeff can be here.
Can we get that invoice as best we can?
Or time.
On the grant?
Hey, Jeff, what's
Find
the
out
time?
the grant payback for the dog?
We'll get some looking into on that.
I think I found my number.
Good for you.
I found my number.
Hi there, you work
Do you,
evenings?
okay.
I thought you worked evenings.
No, I can only come here.
We're sitting here, we're trading water.
Okay, we want to afternoon meeting.
Shop.
We want to afternoon meeting after,
Next week, I don't think we will.
After 5,
After 5
no earlier than 5:30.
Which day?
Wait, so no earlier than 5:30?
Because I close shop at 5, takes me half an hour to get here.
Okay.
all right, so can anybody do Tuesday of next week, the
That's what I
23rd?
was thinking, the 23rd.
I can do.
Sounds good.
Tuesday, 23rd.
5:30? 5:30
Can
on the
you
23rd.
do that?
Can you do that? If not, I'll have some.
Is it, I mean, if it's not very long, I can make it
That's
work,
the only
but
thing, that is the only thing that's gonna be on the special. That will be,
And the only thing,
so don't ask.
Until we have,
I don't know if I can do it. You don't need me, I don't know yet.
before we finish up with my section
we
here,
really have
with
to be.
Sears'
You don't
resignation,
need me, I don't
he
know.
was under contract, if you guys wanna make motion or advise Jennifer to find the difference in pay, cause on his contract he had to do, he was obligated
So-
in the contract.
I don't, I'm not gonna give the motion that, because we're
I,
not on
we
the
can't
agenda.
do that, because it's not on the agenda.
We're already looking into it.
Alright, I just
Have
didn't
we
want
set,
to do
have we
it.
set this time up?
Okay, so 5:30 on Tuesday. Jennifer, do you need to be there?
I am, it was, if you need me there, I'll be there, if I can, I don't know, I may be,
Depending on.
it may be, I may have a thing with me that day, but I may not be able to do
I
that.
got 42 from school.
So Tuesday at 5:30.
You get 46 from school?
Okay, moving on. Number 14, bill number 2219. Motion to have,
I have to go.
Do what?
I have to go.
Okay. So, definitely.
motion to have the first reading of bill number 2219.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And
An ordinance accepting and authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of the city of Cuba, Missouri, to enter into and execute an agreement with Travis Pritchett to manage the municipal airport.
Motion to approve the first reading of bill number 2219.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Marcel.
Yes.
Parker. Mortenmeyer.
Yes.
Renieri.
Yes.
Roseman.
Yes.
Motion to have the second reading of bill number 2219.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance accepting and authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of the city of Cuba, Missouri, to enter into and execute an agreement with Travis Pritchett to manage the municipal airport.
Motion to approve the second reading of bill number 2219.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Roseman.
Yes.
Renieri.
Yes.
Mortenmeyer.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Marcel.
Yes.
Bill number 2219 becomes special ordinance 964.
964.
964. All right, motion to have the first reading of bill number 2220.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, I'm sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance amending section 210, 2210 pertaining to the discharge of fireworks.
Motion to approve the first reading of bill number 2220.
Motion. Second.
Roll call.
Marcel.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Mortenmeyer.
Yes.
Renieri.
Yes.
Roseman.
Yes.
Motion to have the second reading of bill number 2220.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance amending section 210, 2210 pertaining to the discharge of fireworks.
Motion to approve the second reading of bill number 2220.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Roseman.
Yes.
Renieri.
Yes.
Mortenmeyer.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Marcel.
Yes.
Bill number 2220, general ordinance, becomes general ordinance 1251. 1251. Motion to have the first reading of 2221.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance authorizing the acceptance of the budget for fiscal year 2027 of the city of Cuba, Missouri.
Motion.
Motion to approve the first reading of bill number 2221.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Marcel.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Mortenmeyer.
Yes.
Renieri.
Yes.
Roseman.
Yes.
Motion to have the second reading of bill number 2221.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance authorizing the acceptance of the budget for fiscal year 2027 of the city of Cuba, Missouri.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Roseman.
Yes.
Renieri.
Yes.
Mortenmeyer.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Marcel.
Yes.
Bill number 2219 becomes, oh, sorry, 2221 becomes special ordinance 965, right? 965, sorry. Okay, bill number motion to have the first reading of bill number 2222. All in favor? No, sorry. Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance amending section 725-120 of the Cuba City Code, amending water rates in the city of Cuba, Missouri, for the purpose of providing funds needed to pay for all expenses associated with construction, installation, operation, maintenance, upkeep, and repair of the city's water system.
Motion to approve the first reading of bill number 2222.
Motion. Second.
Roll call.
Marcel.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Mortenmeyer.
Yes.
Renieri.
Yes.
Roseman.
Yes.
Motion to have the second reading of bill number 2222.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance amending section 725-120 of the Cuba City Code, amending water rates in the city of Cuba, Missouri, for the purpose of providing funds needed to pay for all expenses associated with construction, installation, operation, maintenance, upkeep, and repair of the city's water system.
Motion to approve the second reading of bill number 2222.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Grossman.
Yes.
Renieri.
Yes.
Workmeyer.
Yes.
Cracker.
Yes.
Hartzell.
Yes.
Bill number 2222 becomes ordinance number 1252. Motion to have the first reading of bill number 2223.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
An ordinance amending section 725-110D of the Cuba City Code, amending the user fees in the city of Cuba, Missouri, for the purpose of providing funds needed to pay for all expenses associated with construction, installation, operation, maintenance, upkeep, and repair of the city's wastewater treatment works.
Motion to approve the first reading of bill number 2223.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Hartzell.
Yes.
Cracker.
Yes.
Workmeyer.
Yes.
Renieri.
Yes.
Grossman.
Yes.
Motion to have the second reading of bill number 2223.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance amending section 725-110D of the Cuba City Code, amending the user fees in the city of Cuba, Missouri, for the purpose of providing funds needed to pay for all expenses associated with construction, installation, operation, maintenance, upkeep, and repair of the city's wastewater treatment works.
Motion to approve the second reading of bill number 2223.
Second.
Roll call.
Grossman.
Yes.
Renieri.
Yes.
Workmeyer.
Yes.
Cracker.
Yes.
Hartzell.
Yes.
Bill number 2223 becomes general ordinance 1253. Motion to have the first reading of bill number 2224.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
A resolution to approve a mutual aid agreement between the city of Cuba, Missouri and the city of St. James, Missouri.
Wait a minute.
You don't have 2224?
I don't have 2220 either. Yes, I'm missing two.
Did you get the stuff out of your box when you came in?
It was sitting right here.
No, there might have been more in your box that were finishing.
No, I got here just as the meeting started. No, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Gotta read it first.
No.
She did.
Okay.
Hartzell.
Yes.
Cracker.
Yes.
Workmeyer.
Yes.
Renieri.
Yes.
Grossman.
Yes.
Okay, this was a resolution, so there's no second reading.
Correct, resolution is only by reading.
One reading.
All right, so bill number 2224 becomes resolution number 06-16.
16.
Motion to have the first reading of bill number 2225.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city, to enter into a lease agreement with GFI Digital for the lease of a copier and maintenance services.
Motion to approve the first reading of bill number 2225.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Grossman.
Yes.
Renieri.
Yes.
Workmeyer.
Yes.
Cracker.
Yes.
Hartzell.
Yes.
Motion to have the second reading of bill number 2225.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city, to enter into a lease agreement with GFI Digital for the lease of a copier and maintenance services.
Motion to approve the second reading of bill number 2225.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Hartzell.
Yes.
Cracker.
Yes.
Workmeyer.
Yes.
Renieri.
Yes.
Grossman.
Yes.
Bill number 2225 becomes special ordinance number 966. Motion to have the first reading of bill number 2226.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of the city of Cuba, Missouri, to enter into an addendum to the original agreement for a donation from the Scheimek Family Foundation to establish a new pickleball complex.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Briskman,
Yes.
Renieri,
Yes.
Bordemeyer,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Hartzell.
Yes.
Motion to have the second reading of bill number 2226.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of the city of Cuba, Missouri, to enter into an addendum to the original agreement for a donation from the Scheimek Family Foundation to establish a new pickleball complex.
Motion to approve the second reading of bill number 2226.
Motion. Second.
Roll call. No,
Hart-
sorry.
Hartzell,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bordemeyer,
Yes.
Renieri,
Yes.
Roseman.
Yes.
Now you're done.
So bill number 2226 becomes special ordinance 967.
Holy moly.
It's a lot on that. Okay, number 22, old and unfinished business. Joyce? Yes. Ray?
Nope.
You?
I did, but I already forgot.
Good. Jeremy? Okay, we are gonna, we talked about maybe opening the pickleball court. It's not on the agenda, but since we got the word that everything's done on the entry side of it, and we're gonna have to go out for bids on the signs and everything. Want to know if you guys are okay with opening the pickleball courts. The nets are here, they're just not up, they will be up. So thought about opening the pickleball courts up for this Friday for Juneteenth, so that they can enjoy the park. Are you guys okay with that?
You need a motion?
I don't
No,
know.
I don't think we need a motion.
Just do it.
I can just put council.
Okay.
You said
We'll
June
open,
10th.
Let the pickleball courts open up Friday for
Friday,
Saturday.
15th.
Juneteenth.
Oh, Juneteenth.
Then we get the signs in and the shades up and everything, we'll have a grand opening and invite the Shannons down for that. We are gonna close and go into executive session.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Hold on, roll call, sorry, roll call.
Hartzell,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Renieri,